Here's the thing no one wants to say out loud, but everyone noticed: the microphone. That tiny piece of metal said more about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship than any royal expert or glossy press release ever could. If you blinked, you might have missed it. But when Harry held the mic and didn't hand it over to Meghan, that wasn't an accident. It was a statement. A quiet, awkward power move in front of cameras, lights, and an audience that wasn't sure how to react. Meghan tried. She stepped up uninvited, in a wrinkled outfit that looked like it had just lost a fight with a suitcase, ready to insert herself into a moment that clearly wasn't hers. But this time it didn't work. The crowd stayed silent. Harry barely acknowledged her. The man who usually lets her take center stage didn't even glance her way, let alone offer her the spotlight. There was no mic pass, no ladies first, no graceful gesture. Just silence, stares, and a very public shift in power, and that alone should have told everyone something. But here's the kicker. Nobody's talking about it. The mainstream press is radio silent, still peddling the power couple narrative while ignoring the elephant clomping across the stage in heels and a spray tan. Meghan wasn't supposed to be there. Yet she forced herself into the frame, hijacked the camera time, and wound up looking like an extra who didn't belong. Harry's face said it all when she tapped his back. You could almost read his thoughts. Here we go again. The mood shifted instantly. Not in a romantic, my queen has arrived kind of way, but in a stiff, please don't make this weird kind of way. This is the same man who once handed her the mic without hesitation. But this time he held on. That's not a fluke. It's either growth, frustration, or both. Meghan did what she always does, stood there smiling like nothing was wrong, trying to play it cool. But no one bought it. The audience didn't clap. The team on stage didn't budge. Harry kept talking. Meghan faded into the background until finally, she slipped away quietly, like a guest who overstayed her welcome. And yet, where's the footage? Where are the headlines? Why is no one rolling this tape on loop? Clip it 24/7 the way they do when Meghan flashes a forced smile or Harry scratches his nose? Of course not. Because this moment doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the story the media keeps selling. It doesn't fit the glossy modern royals in love narrative. This was raw. This was uncomfortable. This was real. And real is exactly what the press has been working overtime to avoid when it comes to Harry and Meghan. But while that mic drama played out on stage, something else quietly slipped under the radar: Ukraine. Yes, the Ukrainian government officially referred to Harry as His Royal Highness. Let that sink in. The same title he supposedly lost. The same title the palace supposedly stripped away. And yet, no correction, no pushback, no palace statement. Why? Because maybe, just maybe, Harry isn't as out of the family as the public's been told. Or maybe the palace is hedging its bets, playing both sides. Either way, titles in international politics aren't accidents. That was protocol. And protocol is never random. So put those two moments side by side. Meghan getting iced out on stage and Harry being quietly acknowledged as HRH abroad. What do we see? A man caught between two worlds. A woman desperate to reclaim a spotlight that no longer seems hers. And a palace that speaks volumes by saying nothing at all. Harry may look halfway out of the royal bubble, but the truth? He's still knee-deep in it. The illusion is that he's free, living his California dream, podcasting and playing polo under the sun. But then you notice the details. Who he travels with. How foreign governments address him. Who shows up around him when protocol is in play. Those aren't friends or private staff tagging along. Those are palace aides. And aides don't just hop on planes without clearance. That's not independence. That's control. The royal PR machine wants you to believe Harry's just a private citizen now. But this isn't about optics. It's about power. Who has it, who lost it, and who's scrambling to pretend they still do. Meghan, for all the headlines and glam shots, is slipping. The charm offensive doesn't land anymore. She used to own every frame, every lens, every conversation. Now when she crashes a stage, the crowd looks puzzled, not enchanted. The magic's gone. What's left is tension, and then came the Kevin Costner event. The moment where the whole script fell apart. Meghan wasn't scheduled. She wasn't expected. Yet somehow there she was, slipping onto a stage that wasn't hers. Security didn't stop her. The organizers didn't intervene. But you could feel it. The tension, the hesitation, the collective discomfort. The room froze. Cameras kept rolling, but no one clapped. No one cheered. It felt like a glitch in the Matrix, something off, something unscripted, something nobody quite knew how to handle. Then came the tantrum. Not the glass-shattering, plate-smashing kind tabloids love to imagine. No, this was quieter. The forced smile kind. The stand here until someone notices me kind. And when no one did, she walked off. Stormed off, really, with the kind of exit that screamed, "I didn't get what I came for." Behind the curtain, witnesses say the smile dropped instantly. The charm act ended the second the cameras cut. And Harry? You can bet the car ride home wasn't peaceful. Earful delivered. Damage done. This isn't just a marriage under strain, it's a partnership unraveling in plain sight. One clinging harder, the other drifting further. One forcing the stage, the other holding the mic tighter, and yet the press plays along. They toss out bizarre headlines like Harry and King Charles could reunite in 6 years. 6 years? As if anyone's supposed to take that seriously. It doesn't sound like a plan. It sounds like a placeholder. A dangling carrot meant to keep donations flowing, Netflix deals alive, and the illusion of reconciliation just believable enough to keep the Sussex brand from going cold. But useful to who? That's the real question. Because while Meghan forces her way into the spotlight, the royal family plays chess in silence. No press releases, no grand statements. Just deliberate quiet, the kind that starves the story without ever feeding the flames. And in that silence, Meghan grows more desperate. Harry looks more isolated. This is no longer just about a strained marriage. It's about two people who walked away from a centuries-old system convinced they could build their own empire, only to realize the system they abandoned is the very thing that kept them relevant. Now, with the palace ignoring them, the press spinning fairy tales, and the public beginning to roll its eyes, all that's left is awkward glances, missed cues, and a microphone that never changed hands. Look closely and it becomes obvious. This isn't a rough patch. This isn't a PR stumble. This is the unraveling of a brand, a marriage and a myth, all playing out in real time. It's a full-on collapse of the narrative they spent years carefully constructing. Meghan once commanded the frame, the lighting, the mood. Now she's fighting just to stay visible. Every move feels forced. Every outfit, every photo op, every overworked smile. It all reeks of trying too hard. And the people around them? They've noticed. Insiders aren't staying quiet anymore. They're whispering, watching, waiting. What once made Meghan dangerous was her ability to spin the truth. She could take the dullest moment and repackage it as victimhood or empowerment, depending on what the story demanded. But that trick only works when the audience is willing to play along. And lately, they aren't. You can't keep selling empowerment while crashing stages uninvited and sulking behind the scenes when the spotlight doesn't follow. The mask is slipping, and beneath it isn't a misunderstood icon. It's just another entitled celebrity stunned that the world moved on. Harry doesn't look much better. He looks exhausted, not travel-worn, but soul-tired. The kind of tired that comes from biting your tongue for years. Once, he was the wild-hearted royal everyone rooted for. Now he struggles to string together a sentence that doesn't sound scripted, strained, and lifeless. He's not just half in and half out of the royal family. He's half in and half out of himself. California hasn't made him freer. It's made him quieter, more uncertain, more trapped. Meanwhile, back in the UK, the royal machine churns on without him. King Charles doesn't flinch. Prince William doesn't pause. The palace doesn't even bother issuing clarifications anymore. Why would they? Let Harry and Meghan spin their wheels in Montecito. The real show, the one that commands influence, respect, and global attention, continues seamlessly without them. And Harry knows it. That's why every trip back to Europe feels like a plea for relevance. Every public appearance carefully calibrated to keep a thin thread tied to the crown. Because without that connection, what's left? A fading Netflix deal? A shrinking circle of allies? A brand running on fumes, the press knows it too. They don't print glowing stories because they believe in the Sussexes. They print them because conflict sells. Reconciliation rumors one day, doom and gloom sources the next. It's not loyalty, it's not belief. It's business. And Harry and Meghan, once the darlings of the narrative, are now the product. The myth is unraveling. The brand is collapsing. And the story is slipping out of their control. This isn't journalism, it's bait. And Harry and Meghan keep taking it. The silence from Buckingham Palace isn't weakness. It's strategy. Every time Meghan complains, every time Harry reopens old wounds, the palace shrugs. They've learned the best way to manage a fire is to let it burn itself out. And that's exactly what's happening. Meghan's charm is fading. Harry's defiance is softening into hesitation. And the world? It's beginning to care less and less. But beneath the spectacle, there's something undeniably sad about it. Two people who believed they could walk away and build something stronger, freer, bigger, now look lost in a fog of contradictions and desperation. The fairy tale didn't just end. It slowly unraveled in front of cameras, not with an explosion, but with a microphone that never changed hands, a dress that didn't fit the moment, and a sideways glance that told the whole story.